Dude, I remember when Assassin's Creed Brotherhood came out, and there was a lot of mixed reception about it. There were people who enjoyed it, and then there were people calling this a DLC. Well, let's find out if Assassin's Creed Brotherhood actually is, or not, a DLC. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is the sequel to Assassin's Creed 2. The game starts off directly where the last game started. And obviously you've got the Desmond aspect of the story, and there is more revelations to come whilst you're playing as Ezio in Rome. Positives about this game. The gameplay, I can definitely say, has improved dramatically since Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. My criticism of Assassin's Creed 2, as great as it is, a lot of the fighting and the combat in that game was actually relatively clunky. In Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Ubisoft obviously heard the criticism and made it much more fluid and a lot more fun to counter kill. Something I also don't talk about very much, the use of colour. In Assassin's Creed 1, there was different types of shading when it came down to the colour. Like if you go to Acre, there's lots of blue, Jerusalem, there's lots of yellow, orange and that type of colour. In Assassin's Creed 2, it was a lot more dim in certain cities. But in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, you only play in one city, but it has got lots of colour in it. And I'm actually quite surprised how good the graphics are to this day. I literally bought myself a 4K TV not too long ago, and playing Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood in 4K really makes a difference. So let's talk about the story. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood's story is directly set after Assassin's Creed 2 and isn't technically about multiple Templars, but it's more catered towards the Borgia family. And the Borgia have taken over Rome, and you, Ezio Auditore, is your job to take down the Borgia threat and liberate Rome. Unfortunately, when it comes down to the story for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, it is actually shorter than Assassin's Creed 2's. Assassin's Creed 2's story has about 11 to 12 sequences, which is basically chapters for the story. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood only has about 8 or 9. And this is where a lot of people were talking about the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Revelations being more of DLCs than actual stories. I actually disagree with that notion. When it comes down to Assassin's Creed 2, there is definitely a longer story, and the side content is a lot more repetitive compared to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood's. In Brotherhood's side quest, there is lots to do, especially on the Ezio trilogy. You've got the Da Vinci disappearance, which is catered around Leonardo da Vinci, and there's lots of storytelling in there. There's repressed memories that Ezio has about his life that you don't actually get to see in Assassin's Creed 2. So yes, you actually return to Florence, Venice and other places in Ezio's life in Assassin's Creed 2. I'm assuming this was cut out content when it came down to the game, but it's still good to see, such as certain characters from the previous game do make a return, such as Leonardo da Vinci and another woman that I forgot the name of from Assassin's Creed 2. Now let's talk about the gear. There is lots of weapons and armor, and even a fancy armor set that you can collect in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and there's even quest items in the game for you to collect as well. This was something that you never actually saw before in an Assassin's Creed game. So these quest items required you to find chests across Rome, and they would contain some little item that you would need to collect to get said items from the quest. There's quest items such as weapons, swords, pouches, and much more for you to collect out there as well. I thought it was a bit unnecessary, but it's good to have a little bit of depth when it comes down to if you want to get said item, you gotta work for it. And Ubisoft used this more and more often in Assassin's Creed titles. So now, what do I think of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood? Well, it's short. And that's really the problem with it. I really do think Ubisoft definitely improved upon the core of Assassin's Creed for me, which is the gameplay. It's definitely much more smoother and streamlined, and you can do some pretty crazy combos with a sword and your pistol. But this actually isn't my favourite. When it comes down to Brotherhood, it's definitely in the top 3, and I would say Revelations is my second favourite, and even that has more flaws than Brotherhood. It's definitely a good continuation to tie up any loose ends that Assassin's Creed 2 had when it came down to Ezio's story. And then there's Desmond part of the story, which I always say they really did not utilize Desmond enough in the story of Assassin's Creed. I really feel like he was more of a side character when, especially of what the responsibility of Desmond has. There's a lot of stakes when it comes down to Desmond, and it just doesn't get played very well at all. Even until his last entry in the franchise, which is Assassin's Creed 3, I still think he was underutilized, but he definitely had a shining point in 3 compared to AC1 to Revelations. But despite the flaws of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, I still say it holds up the same qualities of Assassin's Creed 2, which is still my favourite Assassin's Creed game of all time. There's lots of stuff in here for you to do, and there's lots of content that isn't as repetitive as Assassin's Creed 2. So if you're thinking about picking this game up, I would definitely suggest playing it. It is definitely a worthy contender in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Thank you for watching this video, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what you guys think of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.